All right. Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakak Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of the millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all like the Akim, Wakwati, and learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. It's going to be another video, through the Spirit. Was doing some reading, and, the Spirit hit me to do this one. And basically, I'm going to be using this example of, an ancient, basically an Israelite marriage to further prove our teachings. And when I say our, I mean here at Great Millstone. And it's not ours, it's the proper understanding of Deuteronomy, the now infamous chapter, I believe in Deuteronomy 22 off the top of my head. All right, I have to go back and when I get to it to confirm it. But, and I'm only going to use this word once during this video, but I'm going to be using this Tobit to prove the point of what you people call the rape doctrine. All right. So from now on, I'm gonna call it the forced sex doctrine. All right. How about that? All right. I'm gonna use this to help explain it. All right. And it just hit me. Hey, if you people, if there's anyone that comes across it that can't handle it, then leave. All right. The scriptures say what they say, and many a Jake just doesn't have the spirit for him to understand it. So if you don't got the spirit of understanding on you, the comforter, then just go somewhere. All right, so I'm going to read this. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 10. It says, "For it is meet that thou shouldest marry my daughter, nevertheless I will declare unto thee the truth." This is Raguel speaking with Tobias, the son of Tobit. All right, if you're familiar with the book of Tobit, Tobit sent his son off to go get a bag of money. The angel went with him. All right, they didn't know it, and they made a stop along the way. All right, here at Raguel's. All right, and this is Raguel offering to his daughter to Tobias. Verse 11: "I had given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died." And notice, it didn't say she chose; it said he gave. All right, the father's in control. Who died that night? They came and unto her, nevertheless, for the present, be merry. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another. So he said he wasn't going to partake of the feast, until all the laws of the land was laid down. All right, until all the agreements, basically. Verse 12, Raguel said, Then take her from henceforth according to the manner, for thou art her cousin, and she is thine. And the merciful power give you good success in all things. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand. All right. So he said, I'm not eating until we confirm that she's mine. All right. That he didn't go take her ice skating to the movies and all this and that, and then wait 4 years and then get on his knees and hand her a ring. No, this is how we used to do things. All right. The father would keep his daughter clean and pure until he found a suitable mate for his daughter. All right, in most cases. Jumping down to 13, or still in 13, it says, and gave her to be wife to Tobias, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father. And he blessed him, and called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants, and sealed it. Then they began to eat. Let me do some real quick. All right, so it says, then they began to eat. So basically, at this point, they would have been betrothed. All right, they hadn't officially laid together, but it's now recognized that they are man and wife. All right, and they're going to lay together. All right, and they began to eat. So I'm going to jump down to the next chapter. Let me see. Actually, Let's see. Yeah, so, and now we jump to chapter 8. All right, and up here in the upper verses, you see, they went to the wedding chamber. All right, they laid down together. So at first you had the engagement, which was the father handing his daughter over. All right, they were betrothed, but they didn't officially consummate. Then here in these verses, which I'm not going to read through, I'm going to jump down. But, hey, they consummated, and then Tobias did what he had to do to make that demon go away. All right, they slept through the night, and then the next day, jumping down, It says, and he kept the wedding feast 14 days, for the days of the marriage were finished. Raguel had said unto him by an oath that he should not depart till the 14 days of the marriage were expired, and then he should take the half of his goods and go in safety to his father, and should have the rest when I and my wife be dead. So it was agreed, he would stay and have a 14-day wedding feast. All right, and I'm reading all this just to show you this is how we used to get down. All right, not this Americanized, buy a ring, go to some pastor. No. All right, hey, if a father found you fit, he'd offer his daughter to you. Or if you found a woman, all right, you go step to her. You had to go to the father. All right, and something like this would be arranged, or wedding feast. Not all this go to church. You have to allow the state to be intertwined into your marriage. No, that's not how we used to do things. All right, we'll get this back in the kingdom. All right, so now we're going to jump to Deuteronomy 22. And the reason why this is important, you can now better, if you don't already, have a better understanding. All right, Deuteronomy, let me see. I believe it's 22. So we're just going to jump straight to it. All right, I could jump at higher verses where it tells you, if a woman is betrothed to a man and it's found that she's not a virgin, she's going to be put to death. But we're going to start straight at the juicy and hot topic. All right, Deuteronomy 22, and I'll start at 23, and we'll read through all the way to 29. We're going to break it down as we go. 22 and 23 says, if a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, so say, using the example we just had with Tobit, all right, Sarah was promised to Tobias, but they hadn't laid down yet, all right, be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city. So if a man found that woman, all right, so let's say someone saw Sarah, all right, and they went and laid down. All right, it says, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die, the damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So shalt thou put away evil from among you. So that would have been counted as adultery. All right, if Sarah was out and about and a man sweet talked her or whatever, walked upon her, hey, baby, and she didn't cry out, she was okay with it, she was down with it, and they had sex, they both would have been put to death. All right, but now we're going to go to the next verse. Verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death, for as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. So now, let's say Sarah was just out and about, she's been betrothed unto Tobias. All right, let's say he wasn't there yet, or he went to go move the sheep or something, and she went to go get some food ready, and some random dude came up on her, took her, and laid down with her. He would get put to death. All right, but if she cried out, if she was kicking and fighting and screaming for her life, but no one was there to save her, then she wouldn't get put to death, but that man would. All right, this is dealing with the R word. This is dealing with fourth sex. This is in the Bible, and this is the proper understanding of this, all right, whether anyone likes it or not. Verse 27, for he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. All right, now we're jumping down to verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, all right, a young woman that has not had sex, which is not betrothed, so she was not engaged, like how Raguel had engaged and signed a paper to Tobias. All right, if none of this had happened, if Sarah was just out and about, all right, if a woman was just out and about alone, she hasn't been betrothed, her father hasn't agreed to give her hand to any man in marriage yet. It says, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found. So if a random man sees her, finds her irresistible, and he can't contain himself, he can't wait, and he takes her, and he lays down and has sex with her, whether she likes it or not, Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. So, according to the biblical Hebrew Israelite law, the law of our ancestors, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whether you like it or not, if a man had seen a woman that was not betrothed, not married, nor engaged to another man, took her and forced her to have sex, that woman was now his wife, and he had to take care of her the rest of the days of his life, and he had to pay a dowry to the father. He had to give the father compensation because the father could have been looking for suitable mates for his daughter. That is the understanding on the scripture. There's no way around it. All right, this was not how things always went down, but this law was written just in case it did, because more likely than not, it did happen. If a law had to be written on it, that means it happened. All right. But in more normal cases, you had the example in which we just read with Tobiah. All right. Now, that wasn't 100% of the case, but that was more normal. All right. A man may have just have been about, and a woman may just have been out and about. They may have saw each other, got to talking. It might not have been a so-called forced sexual situation. They might have just liked each other, kicked it off from there, went back to the tent and handled business. All right. But in instances in which a man saw a woman and she didn't want to get down, but she wasn't married nor engaged, that woman was now his wife. All right. And that's the end of this lesson. Hey, that it simply is what it is. All right. So with that, let me give all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Al Shai, Bashim Rakakodash. Give honors to the apostles, and elders, great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all like Akim, Agwathim, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. All right, and, hope this is just another edifying lesson. Hey, scoffers, if you got a problem, go find a deep water to go swim in. All right, so with that, we'll say shalom.